And
And we are live, I think. Are
yo,
we?
what it do? What it do? What it do? I can't
Yes,
believe it. I ain't gonna lie
sir.
to y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This Monday is weird right now. It's going crazy. It's going crazy. It's it's the one after Martin Luther King's birthday.
Is
I'm
that what it
stamping
is?
it. I'm stamping it. Yeah, we getting the real black, official black version today. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? How was y'all Martin Luther King weekend?
It was cool. Let me tighten up my hoodie. Seems like it's gonna be one of them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We got my boy Joe Young in the building. What it
Yes,
do, Joe?
sir.
What's going on? What's going on? How's
How you
everybody?
feeling, my boy?
I'm all
Yeah.
right.
All
Yeah.
good.
So
Welcome.
how was that MLK weekend?
It was cool, man. I want to say I was down there. I was down there with y'all. Was no, that was the weekend before. That was the weekend before. So yeah, I mean
No, that was
it
this
was
weekend. Yeah, yeah. You was
it
down
was
here in
this
the A
past
this weekend.
it was this past weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was out in the A, trying to get it in, getting some video stuff done. Shout out to Food with the Camera.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Six for hooking up another great connection. Shout out Tracy Mitchell. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Hopefully
shout out
we works, get some work
Tracy.
done.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So he's down here shooting some videos.
Yeah, man. This one gonna be one of them. Rich had told me to try to get into my entertainer bag. So
Yeah,
this
get
is
into
this yeah,
it.
this off the beaten path for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm Scully's hoodies and all that, so I get to do something different. So that was cool.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, right?
What?
Because all right, you say you Scully's hoodies.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what is it? All right, the DMV swag is the Nike boots, New Balances, some good
Hmm.
jeans. We just coming to the era where like it's okay to wear straight legs, but skinnies is still kind of a no. Like it's kind of like you know. So
Yeah.
in with the DMV fashion and coming down to Atlanta and now getting on the entertainment bag. You right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think about fashion? What's like a fashion line that you would want to go to or look into? Like, is there DMV line you would like to bring
No,
up?
so it's funny because these are the kind of conversations I would have earlier on with Rich. You know what I'm saying? When I was talking to him about just, being a little bit older and like my flavors just not on what the youngins be on. He
Right.
was basically like, whatever you want to be in the forefront of people's minds, dress like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, because it's all entertainment. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So to get my point across and all that, I had to get into my, what was that? Good music, Kanye, black
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
suit, black pants, no socks,
Hmm.
hard bottoms, you know what I'm saying, and really kind of swag out because I was trying to bring the whole concept to life. So, it's as far as the fashion go, that's the way I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it,
Mm-hmm.
business, not casual, but just straight business. Like, I talk a lot of boss shit. Like I talk that shit. So it's like, you know what, to really bring it full circle, like people gotta see me in that. Like this, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the shop right now. So I just
Hmm.
came like whatever. Like
Right. Now, like,
Okay.
it's crazy.
Well, let's kind of like take it back a little bit. I
Let's
see
go
that y'all
back.
have a nice rapport, but Joe, I'm just now meeting you. So
okay.
to me and the
It's
rest
a
of the people
pleasure.
that's
It's
just
a
now
pleasure.
getting to meet you, nice to
Uh-huh.
meet you. Tell us more about your background, okay, and what you got going on. What's up with you?
Okay, so DC born and bred, lived all the way around the Beltway. I mean, everywhere in between. People say they from, DC. They probably was from like a certain sector. They stayed there they most of their life and all that. I'm from everywhere. Like
Mm,
Northeast, raised. So I was about 11. Just protocol living in the city. Your peoples get a bag. They move out to the suburbs, either
right.
PG County or Mo County, and that's pretty much what happened. Mom's, got that bag. She moved us up out of there, but you know, from there, I done lived in Woodbridge. I done lived in Laurel. Lived in everywhere in between, then back downtown, back downtown, 4th and Rhode Island, Edgewood, and back out to, Hyattsville. So, I'm
that's
from all
funny. I
over.
stayed on 4th Street.
Yeah, right
4th and
there,
Rhode Island.
4th
Yeah,
and Rhode Island.
yeah.
Yeah. It was Edgewood Terrace was my little joint right there.
Nice.
Now, growing up in DC or in the DMV area, let's talk about music, okay? How do you feel the DMV rap scene has evolved over the years?
So it's wild because this is a place where we don't really have a specific hip hop sound because we like all of it. Like we from a place where we got a lot of East Coast influence, like upper East Coast, New York, Philly, but then we also got a lot of down south influence. Like you could play Dipset, people fuck with Dipset, and then you'll play like 3-6 or Crime Mob or whatever. Like we was kind of all over the place palette wise, but as far as the actual scene, it was kind of all over the place like that too. It wasn't a specific sound that they was trying to crank out of here. So everybody got their lane. Even
but do
in
you
that,
think it's evolving, or do you think we're at a standstill right now?
I think it's evolving, and I think it's evolving like right now.
Okay.
It's funny that you say that word evolve though too, because that's something I was talking to Tracy about. Was when she was asking me a couple questions, the same kind of questions about this. I kind of had a chance to think, and I feel like I am the evolution of go-go music and hip hop. Like I embody and personify that evolution, and with everything that's going on, even go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, because I know these people are just getting to know you. I've seen firsthand. I've heard Joe's music before actually going to meet him, and you know what I'm saying. After going to meet him, what happened was we were doing a recording with the live band, and what I heard.
That's right.
Because what I believe is that DC always push go-go, right? And I believe that go-go is staying where it is in DC. Like if I play New Impressions or Backyard when I go to Vegas or I go somewhere else, they don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like just to be honest, they don't want to hear it. But what I noticed when Joe was doing the live performance with the band was I was like, damn, like this is what it is. Because when we go see Jill Scott perform, and then when I see Lil Wayne's live performance, I noticed that the drummers are the ones holding it down for real. You know what I'm saying? And so when I noticed that at Joe's practice, it was a time for me to be like, all right, well, hold up. I was glad we was having this interview because my question for real is, Joe, how does it feel to have, I know you how it is to record in the studio, but performing with a live band and bringing that audience and that feel, you know what I'm saying, of the live drums, the live instruments, the live, you know what I'm saying, piano, how is that associated different, or what have you been doing in the last few months to, you know what I'm saying, help you build up for these live performances? Because you are bringing some of that go-go feel, you know what I'm saying, even to the hip-hop language by doing that. So what is involved with?
I like to hear that too, but J Money, you could have asked me that. You could have.
It wasn't for you. That wasn't for you though.
Right.
Let's
not go. Okay, let's not go there.
Nah. So it's again, it's just crazy we having this type of conversation because even something that Fat Trail has said in his interview, he made mention of this spot called Pure, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to keep it, in the round condensed. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it condensed. But
now we here.
I was out there. So when he came out there, that was my second time around. So I was already an old head when they was just coming through. Him and this other cat, King Baker or King Swag, they was really the youngins turning up during that time.
Yeah.
And at that point, they had did away with how it first started. See, how it first started was with a band. When you would go down there to the open mic, you brought your music. They put the music on. The band would pick it up and they cut your music. So you wasn't rapping with vocals. You wasn't doing no back. If you could do it, you could do it. You could flat out do it.
Yeah, I understood that.
So it was like doing it now. it may seem new, but this is DC hip hop. Like this is DC hip hop, and that's why when you talk about the evolution of it, had it started back then, this would have been a different conversation. You know,
if I can be honest, the only evolution I see of it is what you're saying, the structure of it. Right now, instead of artists getting with the band, feeling the vibe, and getting up there spitting and MCing, right? They're actually putting pen and pad to work. They're actually trying to write songs, and they're actually now not comfortable. DMV artists are not comfortable playing in the background no more. Because
I don't even think it was the background when they was with the band, because you actually could. I don't know. Some artists still do it, but I think it really should have been a thing. Like, I think that would have been awesome if it really just stayed just a thing like that.
But if it stayed like that,
See, and I respect that, because I don't know. Y'all know how I do my performance. Like when I do my performance, I cut all the main vocals off. You know what I'm saying? So if the mic,
which I hate.
I know you hate it, but like if the mic not working or something not working, you're not gonna get the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then,
but like honestly, like when I used to perform with my band, right? I got a band called the Smash Cats. It's Sixxcess and the Smash Cats. When me and the Smash Cats perform, it's a total different vibe than when we're performing, with tracking. But then there's been shows when I've done tracking and the band together. The reality of the matter is, it's about a vibe and a feel that is supposed to be given when you touch the mic, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
The evolution, to me, like I said, the reason why go-go has never worked is because if you listening to go-go, you're really just listening to cover instrumentals, funk music. And when a go-go artist makes it, Chuck Brown, which is the only one that we know, EU, when they make it, they don't even take that genre of go-go with them. It's called funk music now. So
yes, so Chuck did the reverse. He was already out first, and then he used this style and morphed it into what we know is go-go. You know what I'm saying? So what they used it as originally, like the bands were the entertainment, like the entertainment, right? So a lot of them they didn't have songs of their own that was going to fill up those slots, that 2-hour slots. So they they did covers, and that, I mean, they kept them working. The problem with that was they wasn't able to see like a big picture, like a national picture, right? So let's say I took this same formula and I was down in Atlanta, right? I'm down in Atlanta. I cook up with XO Band. I'm like, listen, I got some music. Let's practice this joint, or I just throw it on and I just keep going everywhere. Yeah. It wouldn't be isolated to just that area. We'd be like, we could go wherever. It don't matter, because at the end of the day, we have a viable show. We have a viable entertainment option for any venue. Yeah, that's the difference. That's the only difference. And then you talking about logistics, man. It's easier to take a 4-piece band on the road, which we doing now. We got set up or what have you. It's easier to do that than a 13-piece band.
Right.
Think about that. You talking about taking 13 people across country. Like, who paying for that?
3 keyboards.
Trust me, but as you move, like that question no longer becomes a question.
Yeah,
it becomes giving the people what they want, because they're going to pay for it. It's like good to go. But
that's just having a business mind like that. That'd be the first thing I think about, is like, how much is this shit gonna cost? Number one,
right?
If we bringing a product to them, the whole idea is for us to be able to do it again and keep doing it again. But just not just the cost, but you got all these different personalities. If I need somebody to hold down a certain part of the show, I need to be able to rely on them. Like, listen, like, whatever you got going on at home or what have you, I need to know that you on the same page that we are. You part of this whole act. But I think those type of things are kind of what slowed down the evolution of go-go, in all honesty. Because think about it.
I've told people what slowed down what I 100% believe to have slowed down the evolution of go-go, but I really would love to hear where you going. I really want to hear where you're going with this before
I was gonna say it's one more thing too, but like I noticed on the technical side, because I was trying to take go-go somewhere and it does not compute. Like if you try to compose what these bands are doing to a computer, you know how we have it set up in Pro Tools and we have it set up with the tempo and synchronized with the stuff. It does not compute to read. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't read the drums.
I tell all of y'all right now, go and listen to Joe Young's Crank That Part. Right?
Oh yeah, Rich.
Listen to records like, remember that song?
Yeah.
What was that song? It's not the. It's like, was it Future Band or something? But the song was on the radio, like, you know what I'm saying, something like that or whatever, right? I don't really know all these joints. Then they had that like Welcome to DC joint right around that same time,
Mumbo,
right?
yeah, Mumbo sauce.
Yeah, Mumbo sauce. So, but then there was the Future Band that had a real like record, record, but then they broke up, right? That stopped that momentum. But y'all know, like I said, where is the record in go-go?
What you mean? What you mean the record? Yeah, what you mean?
That's what I'm saying. Listen, like, look.
What are you saying?
When you want a pop record, right?
Listen,
right.
You can name a pop song.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you where the record is.
You can name a pop song. If I ask you, all right, what is the go-go record that y'all want to be the pioneer record that's going to be the song to say, yeah, go-go is a genre to be recognized?
What happened?
Because
I see what you're saying.
No,
if you have to ask me, it's Karaoke Live.
No, what happened was
you ain't shit.
He just throwing dirt on that shit.
Back in the day, you could only hear
go-go for what it is.
Listen, man, you could only hear go-go if you was going out, right? What happened was the game changed for real when CCB made that studio CD of those songs, and they had those 5 songs. They had Bazooka Bottom, those songs that came out on the radio. That's really when the game changed, and you started hearing more of go-go more places. That's when they started doing shows up and down in North Carolina and Atlanta. It used to be Backyard going to Atlanta, Backyard UCB. Yeah, they used to be traveling and doing stuff. That's really when the game was changing. The game started changing then, but then it didn't go anywhere further than that. You know what I'm saying? Now there's the record. There's a go-go hour on the radio. Yes, there's a record. There's Bazooka Bottom. There's songs that I could go back to and name. If you listen to go-go, yes, there's songs that you can name. They'll be like, oh yeah, they come this thing. Like,
nah, it's I
never heard that record that you just said.
You can Google it.
And it sounds
inappropriate. They literally do play it a lot of places.
I've never heard that record. Never.
Yeah,
You've heard
what he's saying. I see
you
what
heard
he's
it.
asking, but then I see what Gibbs is talking about though too, because yeah, you had songs that they could say was songs or whatever, but I think what Six is saying is more or less like, you know, how, like, you know, what, like you said with in the pop analogy, like what song, you know, would you go with pop? And I think that's where go-go is a little different, because it's more or less like jazz in that way. So if you say, like, I like jazz, you would name like a musician that you like.
Coltrane.
You would say, I like Coltrane. Like in the same way you would say, oh yeah, I fuck with go-go. They'd be like, okay, what band do you like? You see what I'm saying? So from that way, I think that's where it's different. Like I don't think you can really put it in those type of genres for that reason.
Correct.
I feel like then you couldn't, but now you can. Like the evolution of it is now you can. Now you can be like, yeah, Big G be cranking. Yeah, TJ be cranking. Yeah, like you could say certain names of the people who be cranking in the band.
But to 6 point, G don't have a song. The only person that really can say that got a song would be like Killer Cow.
The band.
I mean in the song lane, like Killer Cow, right. He's actively pursuing his rap career. Like, you see what I'm saying? So it does have a go-go feel to it, and people know him from being, the mic man on a bunch of different, bands or whatever. So
Yep.
in that way, but as like, so when you talk about the evolution of something, that means like putting it on like not a bigger stage, but taking it from point A to point B.
Yeah, and no diss to Killer Cow. No diss to Killer Cow, because that's my homeboy too, right? But that situation would work a whole lot better if it was Killer Cow and the whatever the band name was.
Correct.
As opposed to that band featuring Killer Cow.
That's a business thing. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where it didn't evolve. Like they didn't look at it as a business. They still hustling. Like them niggas is hustlers. Like, they gonna make their money in their area because they doing not even a chitlin circuit. It's like a beltway circuit. They got the beltway tour that they do. They got these different venues that they know that they're gonna pack out every single time. And I mean, for people still to be coming out in these type of drones as long as they have been,
years.
I mean, that should show them that they have something that they can do something with if they tweak it here and there. But
they gotta have records that people are singing and making their own, because just having your beat, if at the end of the day your lead vocalist is singing my favorite Beyonce song, every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, this is a nice way to do that Beyonce record. This is hot.
Yeah, I mean, it's entertainment. They doing their job as far as entertaining the crowd. But I mean, when you talking about, again, evolving, you trying to take it somewhere else to where they could take it there. But again, that takes everybody to be on the same page. And when I think about bands that have done it, you think about the Roots. You see how many people have come and gone out of the Roots band? You see what I'm saying? Like, to take a band like that somewhere, somebody got to be the leader. Somebody got to take ownership of this brand. And like you saying with Killer Cow, if it was Killer Cow and the fucking, Armory, or however he want to put it, it would be him making the moves, crazy, and saying all that. But everybody don't got the business mind. Chuck
Brown worked. That's why Sugar Bear and you worked.
There you go. Like Lil Benny and I forget who he who he had, but
like let's go into something else, right? The creative side of things, right? Because being an artist in the DMV and creating music, first of all, if you've been around in 3 eras, then I know it's got to be way different than someone who's possibly been in 2, and definitely than someone who's just popping on the scene. You know what they're doing: punch, 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 punch.
Right.
So it's like, all right, we're looking at the whole sound. It's like, all right, we're trying to give. If you're trying to give a sound in the DMV, right, or in any small market town, right, and you're trying to introduce a sound, how much more difficult is it when that area has already accepted a sound that they want without even?
So that would be your first mistake, is trying to introduce a sound. Like, that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is introduce an experience. You know what I'm saying? The sound is that's just the soundtrack of the experience. You know what I'm saying? So if you bring an experience, then the sound is it's going to be associated. It's going to be one and the same. You can't separate it, because every time they think about, oh yeah, I went to this Joe Young joint, that shit was going off. That shit was going crazy, because that song is 4 years old,
right?
And it still ring. Matter of fact, I wasn't even doing music. I wasn't even really doing music like that. I came through off the humble. That's why that verse is so long. Because I was like, I just snapped on the verse, and then Rich basically was kind of breathing life into the joint, and they set up everything. But to my point, like, you can use that music, for the space that it's in. You want to get hype, you need to, get your mind together so you can get up and go do something, you're gonna put that on. Like that's the experience. The experience is connected with the music.
Yeah.
Good
Can I
music
talk about?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It don't.
Can I talk about like the performance, right? Because I tell a lot of artists sometimes performing the whole song is not meant for the live performance. You know what I'm saying? It is an experience. You know what I'm saying? Because another thing I used to do was chop up the songs. You know what I'm saying? It was an experience. You know what I'm saying? They say, okay, you got 5 minutes. I'm gonna chop it up into a 5-minute experience. You know what I'm saying? So talking about having a live band, are you performing the whole entire song, or are you doing the live experience where, you know what I'm saying, you have the band set up to know when to, like, all right, cool, we going to the next song, like, you know what I'm saying, how this is going to be, filling off the crowd's energy, you know what I'm saying, know what songs to do, maybe changing the order of the songs and stuff like that. Is it anything like that going on, or what's happening now with the evolution with the band?
So the beauty of having a band is the ability to give, like we were talking about, that experience. As far as doing the whole song, I feel like I would be cheating the audience if I didn't do the whole song, because I'm not just going in there. Okay, so when we was at the real practice or rehearsal, what my biggest takeaway was that we rushed through the song. We did it how it was recorded.
Correct.
But that didn't leave any space for the experience of the exactly. So now we gotta rearrange it in a way that once the band get going, because they could take it wherever. These are musicians that's going to feel the music, and they take it where they want to take it. And I don't care. Like, knock yourself out, because all in all, it's one of those. It's just like coming to the go-go, right? When you had the name on there. I mean the date. When they shouted your man out because it was his birthday and shit, right? You're not gonna get that at every single show, but you're gonna want to get that particular show, and that's the beauty of playing with a band. So where we're gonna go in, of course, looking to do our set and do the full song. Because it's just gonna be fun for the interacting with the audience and everything else like that, but. They gonna be able to say, yeah, I was at this one. Like I didn't, I missed the Chicago performance. I was at the West Virginia joint though. That shit was crazy.
And like the beauty of having a band, even if you do go through it and give the whole record, if the crowd is still feeling it, you can extend until a segue and keep it going and really amp it up and crowd it up a little bit and then segue it into the next record. So yeah, having bands do give you a whole
it give you a lot to work with from an entertainment standpoint. You're not just going up there being a jukebox, but to even go further though, it's not just having a band, it's having a good band. Like, and we got some of the best. You know what I'm saying? We got some of the best, because I know, Old going to get off, the Brandon's going to do what they do, and then Fat Mark, I know he going to hold it down on drums. So I mean, like, this shit going to be fun if nothing else.
Yeah. So how was your band assembled? Did you assemble all your pieces piece by piece like the rings of Thanos?
No. It all just fell in my lap. Again, I'm working with one of the best producers that ever walked the face of the earth. Yeah. So it's like, for him to be able to make music directly geared towards the sound that we're trying to have. Like, the name of the project is called Stadium Gods, because of the response that we have for Crank That. So all we doing is stadium shit. So if you can, like, we only speaking to people that come outside. Like, we not making music for people that sit inside and just sit back and listen. That's not really for y'all. If they like it, cool. I mean, but I'm saying I gotta be be really direct. Like, if y'all like it, that's cool. But this is for people that want to come out and have those type of experiences. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So to have somebody not only that understands that and being a producer, has the reach and the relationships with top tier musicians to really bring it all the way full circle, then I get to play with them live too. Oh yeah.
Now, Now, Joe, I can't just bring you
Matter
on.
of fact, man, I feel like somebody cut the beat on, yeah. Like, god damn,
I
like
can't just
I'm
bring
ready to
you
go.
on here
I'm ready to
and
go. I'm
we
ready to
not
go.
do this because on
I'm
this
ready to go.
show, I
God
like
damn
to
it.
tell a lot of artists, right, that if you put your ducks in a row, you could be doing a lot of things with your music that you never thought about, right?
Right.
A lot of artists look to do the performing in the clubs, they look to be the life of the parties, they look to be a lot of things, but they don't think about one thing that you have massively done. And I'm just
What's
gonna
that?
run down places that are currently playing your record at every home game. We
Oh
have
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Washington Wizards.
yeah. Oh yeah.
We have the Georgetown Warriors. We have Maryland University. Football, basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We have this list was rather extensive. Towson.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every band in the DMV.
Mm-hmm.
Your music in their stadiums and arenas is what's being played during pre-games, half-times, and outros.
Mm-hmm.
I even saw video footage with there was a big march,
Yeah,
and
that was the Fit DC. That was the first of the year. Fit DC, the mayor had all I think it was like 20,000 residents out, and instead of sounding off the Marcus set go the gun on go, it was crank that. They rang that crank that joint off.
now
So
you are majorly putting on for the city in a major way by even doing a record go-go like that, right? But talk about that experience and without you don't have to tell everybody how you did it. You don't
oh
gotta
yeah,
walk,
I'm definitely not doing
you know,
that.
you don't gotta walk us through it. But tell about that experience alone and how does that feel like having your music played that much of a range in the city?
So I have the cheat code. Okay.
Okay.
The cheat code is life. Like because I'm older, I don't have time to be doing what everybody else doing, right?
Yeah.
And I've learned that in business, all you doing is trying to serve. So all you trying to do is serve a purpose, right? I'm in the service business. Y'all can see I'm in the service business. So the people that I serve musically are the people who benefit the most from it, which are the DJs.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yep.
DJs are the ones that are hired by these venues to keep their party going, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the lane of the DJ, that he needs something that's going to be able to keep the crowd motivated, keep their spirits up. That's not going to, take away from the moment. Like I can't be in there talking about flipping crow, fucking bitches, doing all this extra wild shit.
Exactly.
I have to give them the again experience, but in a way that everybody is going to have a good
Can
time.
relate. Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to have a good time,
Yeah.
and that's the cheat code is if you're making something. Rich is big on analogies. I got to use his analogy, with the farming, right? If it's a group of people that need oranges, why would I try to go grow apples? That shit don't make sense.
I mean, especially when they're telling you what they need. Yeah.
I need some oranges. Oh, bet. Nigga,
I got
let's
mango.
go. Come on. Like,
Now, you know what?
that don't make sense.
I'm so glad that you brought that analogy in, right? Because it's something that has been lingering in my head since you said it at about the 9-minute mark, right?
Okay.
You made a reference to how the DMV tends to love wherever the music is coming from. Crime Mob, you can hear who grew up listening to Crime Mob, and as an artist coming up, you can pretty much tell what era or what area that artist like their music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like when we're asking ourselves, all right, what do the DMV want? What do the DMV want? And yes, on the radio, they're bombarding us with New York, Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
California. Damn, sometimes you find out one of the artists from Kansas, Tennessee, Texas, anywhere but the damn
Canada out this
DMV.
motherfucker.
Canada, like shit.
Shit.
We get at the
Africa,
most
even Africa,
1 hour.
they've
Like,
all managed
damn.
to just control our airways, right? So I don't blame DMV artists when they out there not knowing what the sound like and not knowing what the people want, because it's not like the average DMV fan. I'm gonna put this on the fans now. It's not like the average DMV fan is coming up to you and like, hey, I really like that record. They may give you all indications that your record's cool by giving you little gifts or coming out and seeing you, but they'll never outright tell you, hey, I really love that record. Like,
you know why? You know why that is?
Let's talk about it.
We spoiled. We spoiled. We get to like everything because we in the home of the musicians. Like, it's bands everywhere, right? If you grew up in, Texas or wherever, you were only able to really hear that sound. And that was what you clung to. Like this is this is us. This is what we got. Versus it being like, we got a whole fucking smorgasbord. We can pick and choose. So at some point we basically was like, that's cool, and that's cool too, and this is good, and that's good too.
Right.
We are a major stop on every genre's list.
Right.
Any genre of music, country, rock, hip hop, metal, whatever, that they stop here because this area is like, we're we going to consume all of it because again, we spoiled. We get to choose, but no, people don't really think about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's why.
Yeah, and I tell a lot of like fans, if you don't want your next door neighbor to stop giving you records that sound like NBA YoungBoy records or Lil Baby records, stop telling him that they're the GOAT.
They don't know no better.
He's going to try to prove you that he can do it.
Yeah,
a lot of DMV artists.
Well, that's the problem. People forget about being authentic. Like, if we already got, like, I seen a post not recently, and the artist actually probably would have sound good if he wasn't replicating Young Thug. Like, and like I said, we already have one of those. Like, where's your authenticity?
Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with being influenced, or having other artists that you listen to, or you like their music. But I do believe that when it comes to having your own style, you need to be yourself. Like, I don't think you should ever go into a song or into music attempting to be or sound like somebody else. A lot of times I do run into people like that, and I realize that they're really great at karaoke. They're great at singing other people's songs. But when it comes down to the creativity level, it's really not there. Some people are good at reading music, but when it comes down to creating music, they don't have the same skill set. And it was just really baffling to me, because I was sitting here like, man, you know how to read? I don't know how to read music, but I can make some music. And my friend knows how to read music. And I was like, all right, so what you made up? And he was like, he doesn't really have the mindset to be creative and make, something up. And I was just like, that's really baffling to me.
So I gotta say this. That's us. That's our culture doing that. Like, we expect we don't give people like they props, not props, but we always overanalyzing a lot of stuff, right? Okay. Like, let's say sports, right? If we talking about who the best, it's always gotta be who the best. Jordan, LeBron. Well, they can't do this. They got to be the whole package. They got to such and such, and that's part of the problem, is because just like when you think about a lot of R&B acts, most of them don't write their own music. Like, that's they don't. Like, that's just not they. But that doesn't mean that that somehow that they are lesser of somebody else that
But
do.
most of them have their own sound. The long lasting one has their own sounds. Even art.
That has been cultivated.
Exactly.
But that has been cultivated. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a team of engineers, having a team of people who know how to play instruments, having a team of people who know how to sing, so that they can sing these other parts of the song. You know what I'm saying? Having a team of writers. Like, people don't realize Drake has a team of writers. That's what that whole beef was over with him and Meek Mill, because his team of writers wouldn't write for Meek Mills. They'll only write for Drake. You know what I'm saying?
What? That's what happened. Like he was upset that they wouldn't write for, they wouldn't help him
his
out.
writers said, no, we only write for Drake. Like, we're not writing for you. We only writing for Drake. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a whole situation.
He had to sign some exclusivities.
He was tight.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think there's anything wrong. Mariah Carey's contract actually said in her contract that she would not allow other people to write her music. They could make, you know what I'm saying, make the instrumentations, but writing the lyrics, she had to write her own lyrics.
It also was showing,
and her voice is authentic. I guess that's just where
but it also shows you why her catalog is not as extensive.
But I'm just saying, there's certain things, and you have to know.
So what are you saying that I'm not? What do you mean her catalog's not that extensive?
What I'm saying is what Joe is saying. You have to know your business.
What if I told y'all the more successful you become, the less creative you can be?
You think so?
I would believe it.
You have less time.
So let me tell you something. I say that, right? But then I hear Lil Wayne come out with a mixtape, and I'm like, dang, how is he still doing this? And it surprises me every time.
You're going to bring Lil Wayne into this?
No,
because
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but Wayne, but that's Wayne. Wayne is his brand is creativity. Like, I mean, that's his brand.
However, that's why Wayne also has his smorgasbord of writers. Wayne will tell you, Mac Main helped me with that. Me and whatever came up with this. So Wayne ain't that type of guy. He's not a Jay-Z.
I'm
just saying. Y'all saw what Ice-T said. Y'all see what Ice-T said? That dude don't get no respect, man. That's not cool. But at the end of the day, like listen, I'm not, if I go and buy a Balenciaga shirt or a pair of Adidas, right? I know Mr. Adidas did not make this new design. That's why he came up with the Jeremy Scott line, the Kanye West line, because his creativity, he ain't got time for that no more. And at the end of the day, it's not, giving people things to do is giving people jobs and creating wealth as a business.
So the business part of even the music and what we talking about when it comes to like the live band and all that, the experience doesn't I'm gonna make sure I say this right. So you don't have to crank out volume if the content that you have continues to give the same experience. You see what I'm saying? But because all of this shit sound the same, they're constantly trying to fight to put out, I guess, new music, but it's the same stuff because it's not as potent as it could be of like, these rock bands. Like, these rock bands, they got, fans from, ages 10 to 100. And they gonna keep playing the same 6 or 7 records until the end of time. Even think about Sade. Sade ain't got to put out another album if she don't want to.
Yeah,
she can go on tour. She can go on tour 6 or 7 times a year.
Let me tell you how important it is. No, that's so important because it was 3 years where I was hitting the same 4 songs for 3 years.
Let me tell y'all. Can I tell y'all something that's really scary? Can I tell y'all something that's really scary? Y'all know that's a race thing. Right?
Culture. I would say culture. I would say culture.
We could say I'll use the word culture as well. However, I used to work in this company where kind of was all white people, right?
Okay.
And the youngest person there was about 16, and the oldest person there was maybe 40, right?
Okay.
So what I realized about, my culture of people, we listen to our content, we watch our content, we do everything in private, and then we share it with people as if we had to be the first to experience it, right? But then I talk to this culture, and he's 14, 15. He's like, yeah, man, you ever heard of the band Queen? And I'm like, Queen? What you know about Queen? Oh, my dad took me when I was 10, right?
Yeah.
And I remember my dad telling me, boy, get out. This is adult music, right? Like, oh, fuck the police. Watch your mouth, right? But they created something where, we can enjoy this with our kids, and our kids can tell them that they enjoyed it with them, and they can enjoy it with their kids. So why can't a rock band perform the same thing for 30 years? Because that grandfather shared it with his son, and shared it with his son, and shared it with his son. Whereas though in our culture, I mean, my kids pretty much tell me the people I listen to suck.
I mean, this is surreal conversation because it's only one genre that can really do that now.
R&B.
Besides gospel.
Go-Go can do that.
Listen, once it has a real song that's theirs.
I mean, that is the challenge right now. But I believe that one right there, because it can happen. Because you know what? How to even crank that song joint came. How I really bought into it was, I thought about. There's another pioneer from our area who's had a song out that's in that same lane, that's in the same like stadium lane or whatever, that he's been eating off of the same song since the 80s. No, not the 80s, like the 90s. I think it was like 94, 95. DJ Cool, let me clear my throat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That transcends age. Like
exactly.
That transcends age, but it has still the go-go elements of, the lead mic, keeping the party hype and everything else like that. Same with the DJs and all that. So, I mean,
what I propose go-go bands do? I propose y'all go-go bands do something like how when DMX and Jay-Z and Lil Wayne and all those trying to really get hip-hop to pop, they wasn't all from the same label, they wasn't all from the same team, but they went on one big tour. Rock the mic.
And that's what anymore. And that's what I'm saying. I remember when they used to do from North Carolina to Atlanta and Atlanta back, come back up.
That ain't enough. That ain't enough. They need to go ahead and go all around the 50 states. They need to get them a tour bus and put the big band pictures all around it and drive around the world together. Registered, man.
I agree with that. Yeah, you can't forget that. They need to get credit for that one.
I'm just saying.
I was gonna say, Northeast Groovers was probably the main band that had a very unique sound to me. And they had songs like Booty Call. They had the other joint. I can't think of it right now, but songs like that is where they will push the envelope as being like a band, and this is our song. Red Essence got Overnight Scenario and was the Body Snatchers or whatever. But at some point, all of the bands have a similar pocket beat. Y'all, if for them to really take it where it need to go, they got to get a different. They got to do something different in that. You know what I'm saying? Like all these different rock bands, they got different songs. They using the same instruments as y'all niggas. Like what's the difference?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
They created songs. You ain't gonna
say Gibbs?
No, I was gonna say the only band, because I was just talking to my man about this yesterday. The only band that I've heard like a rap artist take the song from a go-go band was New Impressions, because they've been hit that I'm Too Sexy, and then Drake and Future came out with it like 4 or 5 years later, and I was like, bruh,
It's funny.
Like I got the CD from 2000.
It's funny you said
What
New
is that
Impressions. It's funny you said New Impressions. I got a record with them.
Where?
I'm dropping Friday.
Yeah.
I got a record. I'm dropping Friday.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Found myself a clapper. Had to redo that.
Oh, you did it.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Look, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I'm not a go-go.
That's it right there. You're not a go-go fan, but that's gonna be your shit.
But I heard that record.
So he playing it.
And I looked in the crowd and I saw what it was doing to the crowd. And I went to the DJ and I said, "What is that record?" You know what he said to me? "I can't tell you that. These are my records." Thank God to this good old thing called Shazam, because I got that record. And you know what happened that Friday when he walked into my set? I just waited for that time, and I did it at the exact same time he did his, and I dropped that record. And he looked at me and was like, "You found the record." "Oh, you son of a bitch, I did." "Oh, you son of a bitch, I did." And that record right there, I ain't gonna lie, that one was a great record.
That shit dope. Ice, Joe Ice on 93. That's the one he been playing every Friday. Like he got it exclusively. I haven't dropped the joint yet. You know,
but that is still a remake of the "Find Myself a Sponsor" from Tierra Marie.
Got it. So it's all still intertwined, because still comes back to, you know, covers. It still comes back to covers.
Listen, they have their own.
That's terrible.
They have their own.
Go musicians.
They have their own.
That shit got like crushed me right there.
Nah,
like,
listen, go musicians. Damn. What they do is they're the best musicians in the world. That's why it's never a situation where it's like such and such and backyard band, right? Because these musicians are going to find the records, learn these records, and all you guys have to do is sing the records, snap them up, change a word or two.
I played with the Gibbs band for 10 years, so I understand the process and the method.
You did what?
I was playing with a go-go band. I played the keyboard and bass guitar with a go-go band for 10 years. Like, I was playing keyboard and bass guitar.
So Gibbs, when you came through, when we was at 7 Drum, that was my first time ever playing with them, right? That was the first time they heard the music. Rich was trying to tell me, he was like, "Nah, they don't need to practice, Jay. Just tell them when the show is, if you're gonna pull up." I'm like, I don't know. I want to make sure niggas is on point. So every single one we played, if you see in the footage, we just standing around at the end, because they just doing their thing. They heard the joint and took over. I was like, oh, okay, it's real. It's real. So to your point, like, there's some strong, it's some professional musicians out here.
Yeah. So like what's next? What's the next big move for you, Joe? Like, we Stadium Gods is a decent, damn good name, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Stadium Gods, when I saw it on the flyers, I was like, "This is fucking amazing. This is
gonna be crazy.
Fucking amazing."
Gonna be crazy.
But let's talk about the next stage now in the illustrious career, like touring. Are you afraid of touring? Are you ready for touring? What's the biggest obstacles you think that you'll face, or you looking to face?
So the biggest thing I think is going to be keeping my family engaged, right? Because they've seen me do so much. They basically like, "Why do you feel like you have to do this too?" And not just like, be like, "Oh yeah, everything I touch is gold." But I mean, pretty much, if I put my mind to it, it's going to work out. And as you've seen, just like we really started cranking up back in June. And look, now we're talking about tours and all this other shit. So, I mean, that's probably the hardest thing for me, is to make sure that I don't lose sight of where music and all of that, the tours and all that really fit into my life. Like, I'm cool. I'm good. Like, I mean, this is fun for me. It's not a scenario where it's like, if I don't make it in the music, then, I got to figure my life out. Like, no, like, this is super fun. I want to make sure it's fun for everybody, but I don't want my family to suffer because of the fun that I'm having. So that's probably the biggest thing that I gotta be mindful of.
Yeah. Now I'm not.
Do you think there's a specific age to where artists need to put the mic down?
I thought it was until I started doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I thought it was, and then.
And what was that age that you thought before?
I thought it was like 30. I thought it was like 30.
Really?
In all honesty, I mean, when you young, I mean, I'll speak for myself because I always thought like by the time I'm 30, I need to be established.
Okay.
And established as, just a man, period. And I'm like, all right, so, if I'm still rapping at 30, that's not really going to go over well with what I want as far as, a wife and, my whole family structure. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. But as time went on and I learned a little bit more about life, I realized like it's all a hustle. You just got to get it how you live. And the people that love you and the people that, going to benefit the most from, all your efforts, they going to either, hopefully they be down with what you're doing. So it's just a matter of making sure that everybody got their time. Like I got to put time into the music to make sure that shit rock. But I also got to put time into my family to make sure that they know, like, yo, like this is all for y'all. Like, don't get it fucked up. Like y'all still number one in my life. So, I mean, that age for me was 30, and then I got to 30 and I still felt like I was like, 19, 20. So it was like, oh, okay, this is what it feels like. Bet.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. I said the same thing. I was maybe 20, 23, 24 when I started even writing again, right? I started writing in the third grade. I gave it up when I turned about 15 to strictly focus on football, right? Then baseball, and then I got back into it when I turned about 23. I started writing again. I tell everybody my story because by chance I got into music again. Was an actual person that was a rapper, seeing me writing poetry, asked me could he use it, turned it into a song, so on, so
dope.
On, right? So when I started looking at it, I was like, dang, well, when I'm 30, I don't want to be trying to make it, right?
Right.
And then I started doing research and watching more and more biopics and documentaries. And I was learning everybody that I looked up to was damn near 30 when they made it.
30 plus.
So then I was like, okay, well, all right, I can go a little bit. What's the one thing that they did though, right? And my mentor was like, look at Prince. He'll show you what's the best thing they did, right? And every artist follows it, even Lil Wayne. It's called the evolution of yourself and reevaluating yourself and putting yourself on and in the era that you are. As long as you've been able to do that, it's why Michael Jackson was able to rock the fro. Realized the fro wasn't working no more. Give me the Jerry curl. When that wasn't working no more, I'll rock the straight ponytail. All right, let me go bob. You know what I'm saying? Like he understood these reinventions. And I realized that even as I get older, as long as I stay in tune with those that are not older, because the older people were the only things that were making me feel like, oh man, I'm what am I doing? What am I doing? It was
I gotta check this off. Like
like all right, but it's when you start like, all right, with getting in tune with the youth, you know what I'm saying? Like and staying active with them. I see now how Boosie's can still be so relevant. Right. You know, I can see how the Jay-Z's and the 50 Cents and all of these older guys, Benny Butcher is just getting on, like they're relevant, and Benny Butcher's like 38. You know, so it's like, they've learned the game. The game is to grow with the people. Yeah. You know, so the hardest thing is getting your family to buy in, because usually friends and family are not the ones that we care to buy in. Is like any job or any career. I get up and go to work, right? So it's like the thing that when you know you're not BSing and playing around with your family is when you got your business in order. your PROs, like the stuff that we talk about all the time, your publishing administration companies, your you go ahead, Sound Exchange, your Song Trust, your ASCAP or BMI, your CSAC, if that's what you will, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Your Hurry Fox, all these good companies that take care of your business. Then now you're asking yourself, why not get up there and do this? These companies,
these are the extras. These are the extras that we work so hard for. I hear my mom right now in this conversation is like, yeah, that's why I told you to work now and then play later. Like, you gotta work at some point, either gonna work now or later. Like, I just chose to put the work in, in the beginning when, at a time where I could have chosen to stay on the path of trying to make music and try to get on that way, or maximize what I had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's.
I wanted to point out two things that both of y'all said, because even talking about all these artists, what they did was they took time to stop and get educated. I mean, if you look at Titty Boy 2 Chainz,
don't nobody remember when his name was Titty Boy though.
In a circle.
But listen to what I'm saying. What he did was
play a circle.
Time, what y'all don't realize is how educated he is. Even though it might not sound like that on the records, Lil Wayne went to school for lyrics, for writing. 2 Chainz got PhDs. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people got educated on the business of music, on the other things, so that they could go back and have the fun that they want to have. You could hear the fun in 2 Chainz' voice on the records. You could hear the fun of that because they have their business established, right? You know how much easier it is to work when you could just go in there and rap and know I could say whatever on the mic and my engineer's getting paid, my producer's getting paid, I'm getting paid, everybody getting paid. We're going to take this on the road and everybody going to get paid again. It feels easier. It's better. It's less stress on the mind, the mental. You could be more creative. So that's why I was saying it's two things, you know what I'm saying? Like, once you understand the business of what you're doing, that's what you need to be involved in. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're working a job, you understand what to do for that job. They didn't hire you for that position because you weren't qualified. And the other thing that I was talking to my friend earlier about was an auditor, right? There's certain people who don't realize that there's so much money that artists don't collect for their music, right? And if you don't know the business, you don't realize you're not collecting money. Remember, I was telling y'all weeks ago on here that there's an artist who's been hitting a song for 5 years and told me, man, I ain't never get paid a penny off that song. Well, are you not watching this show? Like, what are you doing? Because if you know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't, you know what I'm saying, make sure you hit the link, subscribe. But like, if you didn't do that, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? You need to understand the business of what you're doing. So I think it's important to, one, know both. Have fun. But while you having fun, you need to be educated. When you're playing football or you're playing a sport, you're having fun. But you know how to dribble. You know how not to travel. You know how to.
I never understood that, right? It's only fun when you're doing it right. It can't be fun when you're stressing and you're worried. It's only fun when you're doing it right. It's not fun when you're
some people it is. Some people love it. Let me tell you, some people love.
You never know.
Listen, some people love working their 9 to 5 and taking their money that they work for 2 weeks and going to the studio and spending $400 in the studio, and then going meeting the cameraman and spending $500 with the cameraman, and then spending whatever the rest on weed, and then doing it again.
But you have to understand,
that's not fun for me.
That's not fun. But to those people have selected that as their win, right? Now, that's not they're not having fun. They're doing what they have to do to get what they think they want done, right?
That sound like an addiction for real, because they're not getting nothing out of it. Except the high of just going in, hearing themselves, and then doing it again. So
that's what I'm saying. You've taken it to a level where you're like, all right, cool. After 6 months, I have an investment. I've set aside a budget. I've done this and that. I'm like, all right, cool. I've set it up so I could go on tour. So I can take this from state to state. I can take this from city to city. This is how I'm going to do it. I have a plan on how to get it done. Because then we was talking about how some of these venues are keeping artists in the same place. These artists are so happy to perform at some of these showcases and open mics. What are they really doing?
I told you, me doing that workshop, right? And that white man, about 100 pounds, looking like Hey Arnold, sat up there and said to me, I'm a full-time job and I perform at one place every week. And blah blah blah. Sit in my chair, and he pulls out his ASCAP statements, and he's showing why he's at this one little open mic every night at this little coffee shop, just chilling. And I'm like, what in the hell? How in the hell is this, man? He's like, yeah, full. I left my full-time job and I still make my figures. I'm like, well, I know I'm doing it wrong.
He done cracked the code with that one.
This was 2017 for me. You see what I'm saying? And I was getting up every day, still doing my thing, working in every day and going to work and letting all my friends at my job hear my new music. And they all like, it's great and it's cool. But it wasn't until that moment that I realized I'm wasting my time here. The job is the job, right? Mm-hmm. If I walk into any job and say, hey, I want to work here, and they give me the job, it's just with music. Once you turn the lights on, you either paying to keep them on, or you gotta go and do something else to get them joints on. And and like you said, when you just getting up and ain't getting no reward for, because if you're not making no money off of the music that you're putting out there,
what we call that? That's hustling backwards.
Yeah.
Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying, like let's just replace going to the studio with smoking crack. Like that shit ain't. It's not doing nothing for you. Like, what's it doing? It's putting you further and further behind. It's fucking
not crack, though.
Listen,
if at the end of the day, I mean, that's what it is. You're not what you doing. What you doing with it?
They have no
spending that on your kids. You could have put that into some type of business or something. Get you some bread.
No, I can't always say that because it did take time. You know what I'm saying? Some people had to take time to learn how to use their equipment, learn how to use Pro Tools.
Nah, F that, bro. If I get a bike, if I go out here and get a bike and I never rode it, yeah, my knees make me a little stuck up and falling. I may fall a couple of times.
That's a good analogy.
I'm further than I was the day before. If I go out here and buy a new bike and that junk just sits over there in the corner and I keep telling everybody, I don't know how to ride it, I just bought it. Well, again, I've just wasted my time and my money.
That's what I'm saying.
Put yourself in harm's way the whole nine.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's just crazy.
Like getting in the car and not putting gas in your car. You bought
especially when in today's world, right? This is the era of TMI. Like that saying now is like a good thing. It's like, oh, this TMI. Oh, it's TMI. Yeah. You really
what they call it. They call it good. They call it good content. TMI is now good content.
Like crazy. You feel me? I mean, so somebody said, "How do you know this?" I said, "I asked Google, and Google told me." They said, "You think you know everything?"
No,
I do, because I can ask Google, and it's going to tell me. Mm-hmm. I mean, even when I don't know how to spell what I want to say, it asks me, "Did you mean?"
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. When y'all go to listen to music, what is your motivation for listening to music? Like, is it because you're about to do something, or you just want to go listen to your favorite artist? Like, what's your motivation behind it?
It depends. For me, it's a mood. You know what I'm saying? It depends. That's what I was saying. For music, for everybody, I feel like it's an energy, it's an emotion, it's a vibration. So it could be depending on what you're doing. You might have a certain song you listen to when girls go to the gym. They might have that, you know what I'm saying? Song they listen to motivate them when they get up. Some people are like, all right, cool, I'm about to get ready to go out. I'm gonna turn on this Meek Mill's. Yeah, hold up, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain songs.
Oh yeah, Meek gonna get you there. Yeah, Meek.
No, I'm just saying it's certain songs that you know what I'm saying, that just gonna bring that energy. We know it's certain songs that's gonna make sure if we need to get the party started, we're gonna turn this on. Man, I got that swag. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's certain songs that just do that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, again, it just depends on the energy, the mode. And again, Sixxcess has said this several times too. What songs have got you through it? What albums have got you through it? You know what I'm saying? Did they put these songs and these albums and these music and these emotions out and these vibes at the right time that it captured you and had you say, all right, cool, I'm feeling this. Like, I'll take time and listen to this because I'm feeling the vibration. I'm feeling what it's doing. So I think it,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I think it all just depends for me.
Like, honestly, for me, everything I do is surrounding listening to music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I can imagine.
It isn't if I'm going to listen to music, it's if I'm going to listen to more of this person.
Right.
For me, right? Every day I'm looking for something new because I'm always looking for inspiration. Not stuff to write, but like how to feel. I think a lot of people wake up and don't know how they want to feel.
Yeah.
Or how to feel. Whatever your dream is, whatever, the mood was before you actually went to sleep, it carries. So I think for me, I can scroll on Instagram and hear a new 30-second clip or something, 15-second clip or something from a reel, and I want to hear the whole thing. Or I know that I don't want to hear no more of it, right? It could be a line, it could be a phrase, but usually we all know what brings us to music is the music. Usually whatever that sound is that catches you. I think sometimes I hear instrumentals in my head.
Oh, so you in a different dimension with that one.
It's like you just hear it. You ever just be riding around and just like just start freestyling for no reason?
Or walking, like when I be walking my dog.
Or just walking around or just sitting there watching TV and just start freestyling for no reason. You may hear that little beat, what they call like the intro music to a TV show or something, or a little music melody playing. You'd have missed half a damn show because you'd have wrote a whole song in your
to that shit, right?
Yeah, so I have creativity peaks, and those creativity peaks happen a lot either when I'm like half sleep, like getting ready to go to sleep, or when I'm doing something else active and I have music playing, right? So like when I'm driving, and that's why I'm thankful for, you know what I'm saying, having the voice record and voice memos on the phone and stuff like that. Because a lot of times that is when your creativity peak happens. You know what I'm saying? When you're hearing another song and it might inspire you to, you know what I'm saying, like, oh damn, I would have said something like this. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna have to agree with both of y'all. I think listening to music for me is more so for a mood. And also what you said, Six. Like sometimes I could wake up and I have stuff to do, but I know putting on some music, a certain type of music is going to put that fire under my ass and keep me moving. Also listening to music investigatively, just looking to see what's out there. What am I missing out on? I currently took Spotify and Apple Music off of my phone.
What?
Yes. I took it off of my phone for a while because I realized that I have a set playlist, and once you listen to certain things, that's what they draw from. So I kind of took it off of my phone so that I can listen to the radio and listen to what's going on around me, so that I may pick up. So that's what I'm on now, y'all. Just for a couple of weeks, I'm tuning out of my usual and I'm just listening. Like now, my ears are wide open. I want to know what else is playing.
I recommend Pandora and iHeartRadio.
No, all of those are set too.
Which was some she just said that her whole vibe, I think, is what people are about to be on, because at some point you want to discover stuff organically versus it being like them telling you, hey, you could probably like this. You might not be in that mood. Shit, you might want to put on some Pink Floyd. Or some shit that's out of left field. You know what I'm saying?
You know
because,
what?
You got access to it.
You know what happened, Joe? I forgot what I was listening to, and it was actually a country song. It was like a soft rock song, and I like 97.1. That's our Washington soft rock station. But I was mad because I was like, "Damn, this is a good ass song, and I don't even know this shit." Like I was actually upset, and I was like, "That's because I've been only listening to what's been recommended," and I was like, "I'm missing out on other music." I like all genres of music. I don't just like specifically hip hop and R&B. So I'm missing out on stuff by not just actively listening to hear what else is out there.
I think there's about to be an anti-algorithm movement, and I want to cash in on that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. started hitting the new music Friday button, because I used to hit the new hip hop button, hot hip hop radar button, hot new, R&B button. But now I started to hit the new music button.
Right.
And I have, like you said, it's like, wow. Yeah. I'm finding pop songs, I'm finding rock songs, I'm finding gospel songs, and I'm like, you know what? Back to what I've been. That's not a y'all know my campaign. Y'all know what I'm changing my name to. Jzabel Music. That's what my name is going to be until we get a hashtag Jzabel Music. Well, it shouldn't be Jzabel anymore, young. We should just be free to explore what we want. Only thing that needs to be stated if it's parental or it's not.
Right.
I mean, we have to realize what's been happening, because I noticed this 4 years ago when I sat down with a music director, and what they did was they had a top 40s list from that year, and then they had a top 40s list from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and 40 years ago. And what I realized is that a lot of the music repeats itself, right? So like even now, like Will Smith did it, and even now, I feel like it was another song, and when it came on, I was like, damn, they playing the Yin Yang Twins, and it was Bryson Tiller. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was like Bryson Tiller and Rihanna did another song that was like a remake of, you know what I'm saying? Like they're remaking, you know what I'm saying? History is repeating itself, right? And they're doing this because they're like, all right, cool, this is what's happening. The new generation doesn't know about this.
And that's why the charts never change.
That's why the charts never change, right? And if people don't notice this pattern, I don't know what they're in business for, but the charts never change. So they're doing it again, right? And the same songs that they had 20 years ago, these kids are like, oh, this is new. That's why Meg Thee Stallion could come up with I'd rather be a BITCH. Like,
yeah. And that's
but they don't know that now.
And then they start throwing out facts with, after 22 years, it finally goes platinum.
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute. It went platinum with that damn Cardi verse on top of it.
Right. You know
why y'all saying like that? You know,
the same songs that they're using, the samples in the Cardi songs, the samples in the Nicki Minaj songs are songs from when?
Because working in radio, I know this, and I don't even know if I should be telling this, but we all know.
Oh no, you should be telling us. Come on.
That it does not collect the song. It collects the data that was given to the record already, musical data like fingerprints, right? So what all of you teens and you tweens don't know is when you go out here and sample one of your old famous hip-hop records from the 90s, that radio, we hear your verse 10 seconds in, but it's already calculated that it's a Biggie record. It's already calculated that it's a Pac record. It's already calculated it's a Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, whoever you use the record. Right at that point now, half the time y'all know we see a screen of the old album or the very first album that it was on, and it's like, wait, no, this is Megan Thee Stallion, or this is Drake, or this is right. But you understand, like, this is how it works. So when you see these things, honestly, again, that's called you know who they work for. I mean, like it's like if I go work at McDonald's, right?
That's the logo.
They're gonna bring me in there. Yeah, they're gonna ask me to make a burger, but they're not gonna say, "Yo, make a burger the 6 way." You feel me? They're gonna give me the little thing. They're gonna say, "All right, you reach in there, you grab that, you put that down. Yeah, grab that one, you put that down." I've never worked at McDonald's, y'all. All right, but you grab that, you put that, you put that down, right? And I want to say, "This is a cheeseburger. I made it right," and they're gonna say, "Good." They're gonna let me sell it. Right? If I make it wrong, they're gonna say, take that shit back and do it right, or we'll find somebody else that knows how to make that cheeseburger.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying. I look at artists and I look at like, what is your what are you doing? Are you planning to just do this for fun? Are you making a song that's just gonna be for right now?
Every artist is trying to do it for fun.
No, are you making
it's gotta
the experience is what Joe said. It has to be. Well, it should be.
It gotta be, because we in the entertainment business. Rich, the dude I'm talking about is my producer, Rich Ball. I mean, just decorated producer, but real humble. Like he not no flashy dude, no nothing. There you go, man. So the conversations that we have, I I asked them even earlier on, just like, you know, like what's the difference between, you know, those artists that, you know, really jump and really pop. You know, he was really instrumental with XXX Tentacion's you know, first tour.
Yeah,
And seeing that from the inception to be like, okay, what is the phenomenon behind these kids and all of that? And the main thing was, if anybody that talks about him, XXX, they talk about the experience they had going to the show,
correct.
and what happened there, and why you had to be there because of what was going on. And it's
Correct.
like, you know, that element without the music is what you know Tracy was saying. It's popcorn. But if you actually have like some good not even thought provoking, just emotion provoking records or music, oh yeah, and you got the experience side of it, oh, that you the circus, you Cirque du Soleil. Nigga, you
They
can
call it ear crack. You got to have some
it's
ear
whatever.
crack.
Yeah, you
No,
gotta have some ear crack. Like, I mean,
honestly, the ear crack has to be more so as like in today's world, it's kind of like well shit, it's kind of like crack, right? All you have to do is stand on the corner with your hand out like I got the damn crack. I mean, it's all you gotta do is stand out there, I got the crack, and hope the native affair that take it from you and bust you. So with the music, all you gotta do is literally be like, I'm having fun, I'm making the music, I'm giving the best show, I'm having fun. It only gets unfun. Listen, a teenager performing every night, not making any money, is having a blast, right? The person that's taking him, the person that's paying for this and funding it, they may be in the back doors working all types of deals or not having any fun at all. When that teenager starts 21, 22, 23, this is how you know if he's still having fun. When you say he's still rapping, how's a new project coming? Yeah, man, I'm working. It ain't fun no more for him.
Yeah, I mean, in that other analogy, you know, these guys out here, they got crack. It's been cut up, manufactured, and everything else. It's the same thing. That's why they keep having to give you another one, because once that high is done, you know, like a lot of these songs don't have replay value. But when you got like pure, uncut, raw, and you got to come to the source, like that's where the live band stuff come in at. Like that's what DC has that we don't even know we got. Like they don't even know, like, this is Medellin for real. And if an artist was able to come out here, let's say like a Joe Young, because I'm really doing this for the people that's going to be coming behind me.
Yeah.
Right. So the next artist that comes up and they have something to say, and they have this music that only they can say what they going to say on it. Like, just imagine a band playing just a very unique sound, you know, that's just all their own. You can't nobody duplicate that. And somebody that I really like, that I've really started to hone in on is Childish Gambino. I fuck with Gambino for that reason. It's like it's hard to duplicate him. Like you can say it's kind of in that lane, but when you think about it, who else really? Only other person I could say is kind of like that is Anderson .Paak. But even with Anderson .Paak, it's like not really. Yeah, because they got their own thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say they way different. Yeah.
Right. It ain't no Joe Young. It ain't no Joe Young.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so people ask me, "Oh, how you come up with your name?" I'm from that's the city I'm from. Hey, what's up, Joe? What's up, Young? Yeah, Joe Young.
That's weird.
That's catchy. Oh my gosh. What up, Young?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and everybody that fuck with me, they all my youngins. So that's my this is my thing. I mean, I'm older now. I get to say that. Like y'all my youngins. Like, okay. I'm talking to my youngins.
So like last week on the show, there was a question coming up. Creating versus selling. And I stated that artists do not know how to sell. There's two different sides of the brain, right? Very rarely do you tap into them, or if you're in a case where you're older, right? You've now tapped into sales, so now you're getting into create. But what I said was artists do not know how to sell and create. Now, I told him I would elaborate more on that this week. What do you think about that? That Joe Young artists' ability to sell and create, is it a thing that they can do one and the same?
I think it's something that they can do, but just like you said, they gotta be conscious of the fact that it's separate, right? So as an artist, the artist and the business always gonna bump heads. They conflict because the artist is trying to be creative, which is not methodical. It's very inspiration driven. It's very emotion driven. The business is trying to make sure that they have a systematic way of always making money, which goes against those operations, like fundamentally, right?
Correct.
The problem is there's a lot of artists who feel like their art is the selling mechanism, and it's not. It's just
100%.
not. You know, so what ends up happening is the artists are constantly trying to create. Oh, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one that everybody gravitates towards, and just completely, you know, overlooking the fact that there has to be a systematic way of doing something for, you know, people to actually enjoy what it is that they're creating. So there's companies who are billion-dollar companies who have only created one thing.
That company.
You know, you got there's a Pepsi, Coke, I mean, Oscar Mayer, you know, just I mean Ben and Jerry's, like the fuck. They have one product, and they have a good grasp on selling it, right? Now, when I first thought I was, you know, teenager or whatever, I was in a group, and one of the guys that was in a group, I mean, really could spit. My man Allende, he lived up the street from me, and one of the things that I really liked about Allende was his voice. Not only his voice, his go-getter attitude. Like this fool had us out at Rivertown when we were selling hip hop CDs of ourselves back when niggas was not rapping in our area.
I'm sorry, this is my man. I know Allende.
Allende Simon.
Yes,
Allende Simon. Yeah, it was me and Allende. You know, we was out there, and you know, that was one of the things I really looked at it like, hold up, like this nigga's serious. Like he really feels like, you know, we could just, man, I mean, we out front of the AMC theater, you know, just hand to hand with it. We went to Judah's studio. This was it Judah? No, it was Boo Boo. We went to Boo Boo studio. Boo Boo the Fool out there in Oxon Hill. This was late 90s, you know what I'm saying? Late 90s, early 2000s. Went out there, recorded in the same session, did 6 songs, went home, pressed them up, went to Staples, got the CDs, got black and white we cut the inserts in there and hit it, you know. And you know, when I saw him do that, I was like, number one, this young nigga's not about to out hustle me. That's number one. But then two, we actually we making money. Like this shit is way easier than I thought it was. So we hit up Rivertown. We was at Sam's Car Wash right there on what's that? Branch Avenue.
Yeah.
Right there. We just pull up. I mean, niggas be out there.
Right.
Nobody. I haven't seen. I'm not gonna say nobody because I just haven't seen them. But no, I haven't seen that level of hustle in our area. You know what I'm saying? And that's the business side of it. But you know, it actually gave more inspiration for us to create. Because being out there, we pounding on our chest now. We on records talking big shit. Like y'all niggas ain't out here with us. Y'all can't sell nothing out the trunk. What's up? Where y'all at? Y'all niggas is running to the go-go bands. Like we out here. You know, so it's one of them things that you have to be conscious of it. You have to be conscious of saying like, once back to the oranges scenario. Yeah, I could grow oranges, but I got to take it to market.
Right. But like, and to your point, I gotta address, even hustlers don't really know how to sell. They know how to get off product.
Yeah.
but they don't really know how to sell. I mean, let's think about it, right? The real drug dealers, you know, the ones that really sell the Percocets and stuff like that, they get a big business. They get with Big Pharma, and they start selling their drugs everywhere. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, that's what they do. But that's not what real drug dealers do. They get off a product and try to get it off and make as much money as they can before their time runs out. That's a hustler mentality.
You know, that's definitely. I mean, hustling is. I mean, sales. I mean, hustling is a level of sales.
A level, right? Correct.
That's
I like how you did that. I like how you did that.
It's a level of sales. I mean, because it's all sales. You know,
Correct.
like in any business, it's all sales. It's not what people want to try to make it out to be. Like you hear Jay-Z or some other people, I can sell water to a well. That's not selling. That's not sales. Have y'all seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes.
You seen Wolf?
Yes.
What main man say? He said, "Sell me this pen." For his first question, "Hey, are you in the market for a pen?" That's your. You're not trying to sell something to somebody that don't want it. That's not. That's one of the first rules of sales. Are you wasting your time?
Yep.
All you trying to selling is finding people that want what you got.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to transition, even with the music stuff, the first people I called was people I went to high school with. You know, I went to Bishop Ireton over there. My mother just, you know, she didn't want me to go back to public school. Like she done sent me everywhere. I was getting in trouble in middle school. She was like, "Yeah, nah, that's it for you." So when I was able to come back, only place I could go was, you know, private school. I went to Bishop Ireton. Most of my friends, they, you know, white boys, Filipino girls, all that. First thing I did, I called them. You know, once I started, you know, they knew I rap, nigga. I had the whole when we did Black History Month, I had Allende come to my school or during a school day, convinced his mom to let him out of school so we could perform in front of this all white high school. Tore the shit down, whatever. So I called my friends. That's people I still in contact with. Like, hey, do y'all still go to like live music events? You can go concerts? Do we go? Oh yeah, word. Okay, well look, I got something coming up. I'm in there, Jeff. I'm in there. So the finding the people is the selling, not the making music for a genre. You dig what I'm saying? That's where I think a lot of artists that sound like other people or try to sound like them, that's where they go wrong. Because they don't know how to sell, they're trying to do a layup. They trying to, okay, I'm just gonna make what they already buying. But you don't know that they don't really want that. Just like Sis said, she had to cut that shit off. Like I want to go find my own shit. Like
facts.
You know, so the person that's looking for you they're gonna find you because they're gonna say, "Here's some new shit." You gonna be like, "Oh, all right."
J Money.
Yes, sir.
You make a new song, right? First person you send it to.
The first person who's the first person I send it to?
Who will be the first person you send it
to? Usually it'd be my kids, but outside of that, it'd be my cousin.
Okay. Joe, you're the first person you sending your music to once you create that song.
To the DJs. That's the first. So it's two DJs I really rock with. My boy JFK, who told me, who was the one that told me, he's like, "Nah, this Crank That Part record is out of here." It's like, all right, bet. Because he do a lot with the stadiums. He the first one, and then the second one is DJ Joe Ice. Because Ice, I mean, his ear is crazy. Like if you hear his mixes, it's seamless. Like he know what he doing. So those are the first people I send it to because I want to hear whether they can use it. Because ultimately, that's what I'm making it for. I'm making it for them to continue to turn up when they do what they doing.
Right.
So if they can't use it, then you know that's not what I'm going to get behind.
Yeah.
So I send it to my kids because first off, their first reaction is going to be, kids are brutally honest, right?
They are.
So their first reaction to when a song comes on is either gonna be, oh, what's that? Or they're gonna start jamming and they're gonna like it. Just automatic. So I'm looking for body language. And I'm talking about a song like before I even decide to go get it mixed and mastered. I'm like, all right, let me see if I should just go somewhere with it. So I'll send it to, you know what I'm saying, let my kids even hear it. And then I said to my cousin or my uncle, because they're in the music industry, and they'll be like, all right, cool. Yeah, you need to get the mix right, but you could definitely go somewhere with this. And that just gives me this insight to be like, all right, should I even take this somewhere or not? You know what I'm saying? But really, the kids are the first ones because they're the ones who are brutally honest. Like if you know what I'm saying, you play that song, even if you turn that beat on, if they're not feeling that beat, they gonna make that face or make that look or make that
like daddy, this ain't the one, dad.
The one thing that I like, the one thing that I really like about you, Joe, is like you acknowledge that you have found a cheat code in this, or that you are a cheat code.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely cheating. Fuck that.
It's like
fair. This war.
Yourself,
like nigga, like we out here trying to win.
Right. You took a break. It's like you took a break from the music, but you opened up the business. You opened up businesses. You started selling product. You started like putting your own supply and demand together. Then you step back and look like, wait, I got more product to sell. I got this music. And you immediately, it wasn't about creating, right? It was using that mindset of your sales to get that record that you already had, that you had already created, moving. Which if you had that mentality at the artist stage of it, which is like I said, you don't. Most artists do not have the create and sales mindset at the same time. It's highly,
it's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, that's what comes with being older though too. Because when you older, your priorities change. Like it becomes you in not only survival mode. Like for the men, it's a providing mode. So like if I can't be out here wasting time and valuable time that I could be spending with my family if it's not producing something that we can all use. So being older, that's another advantage that I have, because a lot of the younger kids, they don't know what they want out of life.
Yes, when you don't know what you want, somebody could offer you anything and you'll be happy to take it because you don't know what you want. You know what I'm saying?
You're still curious. You're still trying to say, oh yeah, this could fit. Oh yeah, this could, I'm gonna try this.
When I knew what I wanted, that's why, like, let me tell you, it took me 3 years and I still haven't even got to 1 million yet, but I got to, you know what I'm saying, 500,000. But it took me 3 years pushing the same 4 songs to get them all, because my goal was like, all right, I need to hit 300,000. I'm gonna push these records. I'm gonna perform these songs every night until I get to 300,000. Because the dude told me, he was like, yeah, if you really making some money, you'd have 300,000 streams, because that shows me that you made $1,000. You ain't even made $1,000. I said, man, what? I'm hitting these songs every night because I'm like, I'm gonna push these. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what I wanted, but you have to know what you want, or else somebody's gonna be like, all right, here, I'll give you this, and they give you that, and you're like, all right, what that?
I mean, that's because that's happens to me so many times. It happened, in so many avenues in my life, even when it's dealing with relationships, females, all that type of shit. It's like you don't know what you want until you go after something. You're like, yeah, no, that wasn't it.
Want it.
Yeah, that wasn't it. Okay, and then you go to the next thing. Okay, I done had cars. I done had all this other dumb shit.
Right.
And it's just like, damn, what the fuck was all that for? And then you really take a step back, because that's what we're showing. Oh, these people that we I guess idolize. I say that in the song that I just did the video for. The hook is the number one joint. It's basically I've been looking at these people that were my heroes, but they didn't tell me that the only way you get there is by not following the crowd, not following the rest of them. It's like, huh?
I tell people that, and it's so scary. Like, they scared to walk down a path. You're like, come here, walk down this path. And they're like, nah, it's thorns and bushes over there. It's a sidewalk right here, bro. I'm going to take the sidewalk. You're like, nah, come with me down this path. And they're like, nah, I don't see the point.
Man, shit, I'm blow your mind. That's actually a Dr. Seuss joint. You have to be odd. Yeah, to be number one, you got to be odd.
Yeah.
God damn. It's like, That shit makes sense like shit though.
Yeah.
So putting that on, putting that, like really owning that, like, oh yeah, nah, I'm gonna be extra weird then if that's what it takes. Not for the purpose of getting people to fuck with me, but just on the tip of getting the most out of my life. Like if I'm gonna get the most out of my life, I gotta do what the path that is being open to me. And a lot of times, it's hard to talk to people about it because in their minds they don't understand. They like, Jay, you 40, you 40 plus, you 42. Like, you got a business, you got this, you got the house, you got the cars, why would you rapping? You a rapper? Like, word? Like, that's what you're doing? And it's just like, I could do whatever the fuck I want.
Right.
Like, and see, now what's crazy is it's not you. It's like they don't even acknowledge you've been a rapper. You're just a rapper. Several businesses.
Fuck. If I wanted to, I got the Toro business. I got the cars on Toro. I mean, it's a platform for you can make money, whatever. You do the Airbnbs. You can do in this day and age, in this time that we living in, it's so many different ways to make money. It's so many ways to do it, and
it's no reason.
It's no reason. And it's because it's so many different ways, it's certain things that fit with your personality, your lifestyle, everything else. So anybody that's not getting the most out of their life, I would challenge them in the way of, are they not getting it because they trying and it's not happening, or they just not trying? Like, maybe a lot of times people are lazy.
Correct.
That's pretty much what happens, so
they don't want it bad, they just kind of want it.
So yeah, it's easier said than they want somebody to give it to them. They don't want to go out and get it.
Right.
That's not what is at the top of their list.
Yeah. Now think about this, y'all. Like, our mindset in creating is, as soon as we finish it, we want to share it, right? We want to get feedback for it, and we want to know what people what people we could possibly get it to hear it and what their thoughts are, whatever, feedback, whatever. But when a record label gets the music, the first thing they do is get it to stores, get you ready for touring, get merch ready, and all of the other things that go with selling the music. Even social media, which is now to me like the best new flyer that you could ever post. I mean, if you want to know how someone is feeling a song, let's see how many people you can get to reshare it and post it and comment and have it on their thing. Let's use all this analytical data from all these real people and let them tell us where you like to go. You know what's even more crazy? Where artists don't put that sales hat on. How many artists can you think of on their hand have looked at their analytical data and said, oh my goodness, they really fucking with me in Jersey. Let me get my ass up to Jersey.
I've been saying that for years. The thing is, people don't want to spend the money to move around. They like to see the internet clout, and that's pretty much it. They don't really like to move around.
So there's a difference, because there's some internet clout that moves and some that doesn't, right? So some people are happy because they're like, all right, my stuff is getting views on Instagram, and they know that like these followers are the people closest to me, right? So their influence is going to be their Instagram. Some other ones are like, all right, yeah, I'm doing it on YouTube because I'm seeing my views go up on YouTube. But then they're not looking at where are these people coming from. Do these people want to see them on tour? You know what I'm saying? They don't really get into the details of that because they don't know to. Or they don't have the foundation.
You know what's weird to me, right, J Money? The breadcrumbs, right?
Okay.
If I say to myself, I'm really into YouTube, I watch YouTube, right?
Okay.
The analytics tell me if by watching the data, my daughter watches all these YouTube, my sons watch all these YouTubers, and what I realize is every once in a while you catch them all doing cameos together. Podcasters, ESPN sports analysts, right? They blend. first take guy might go over to Partner Interruption one day, and Partner Interruption guy may come over to First Take one day, and Jalen may go over to Mike in the morning. You know, like all of these things happen to show uniformity and the breadcrumbs. So anytime I see anybody saying, "Oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that," the idea of thinking alone and I have to do it this way to myself is just always throwing me off. You're not you're thinking create, hobba, not sell.
Yeah.
And any artist,
I wish Rich was on this joint with us, man, because this his lane right here. He break this shit down scientifically. But everything you said,
like he. Me and Rich talk a lot too, you know. Like he's there.
He'd be like, "What? Like, hold up, say that again, nigga." Like, cause that shit, yeah. But
there's really only been one artist that was able to subconsciously walk around creating while thinking of how to outsell. We already know who that is. I don't want to keep mentioning the guy's name.
Go ahead, say it one more time.
Jay-Z. But most of these other artists out here, they've had a really good infrastructure behind.
You know who else though too? 50 has been phenomenal at that. You know, I wasn't a 50 fan for a long time, but just like watching how he is maneuvering. Of course, he took you know some pages from Jay and Puff and a couple other people, but it's like
Jimmy,
he making that shit his own.
Yeah,
his
he
own
a whole different monster.
Is it like not honestly
that thing his own?
50, Master P, they all on that level, you know. But the reason why I don't really be giving 50 like that is because the infrastructure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
you can't miss with that.
You take Interscope out of that equation. Is 50 Cent still 50 Cent?
Yeah.
I mean, Rockefeller is 100% y'all independent. I always make sure I let everybody know that was our only official, fully independent label that really did it like off the backs of their own. Like, fuck the industry. We're trying to win. If you're not going to let us in, we're going to work with every up and coming group, every up and coming artist, and put our own stuff together. Our own money, our own move.
Yeah, I mean,
sold out like everybody else do.
I mean,
once they got Kanye in the mix.
All right, well, it's getting close to that time, but Joe, before you go, I do have a question.
Sure, what's up?
This is a segment, y'all. We're gonna include called "Pass the Torch." So if you reach the level of success that you want to reach and you make it to where you feel is the status of made it, who is one person, an artist, female or male, that you would pass the torch to? Cannot be a family member or a friend.
So that's actually my goal. Is so when I set out, like I said, back in June, me and Rich, we had a chance to sit down and you know, kind of talk about what we would both want out of, you know, this whole situation, because it's like I want to be clear with, you know, people I work with what they're looking to get out of it too, because I just want to make sure we all going in the same direction. We both were saying that, you know, we want to have the type of impact on the DC music industry in the same way that other pioneers in other areas have done for their cities and their surrounding areas, to be that funnel, that direct line from, you know, the creative side of things, like the artist, to the actual business. And I want to say business, I'm talking about like a full-blown career, like a sustainable career. So, you know, the passing of the torch would be for any artist in this area or the surrounding areas that understand what we were just talking about as far as the creating and the selling. And I mean, that could be anybody, you know.
But who's one? I need a specific artist that you probably got
anybody. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, it could be, again, like it's not artist based for me. It's like the whoever's creating is cool, but they also have to understand that this is going to be their job. So I mean, the artists that I've worked with, some of them, you know, Be More, the chick that was on the Crank That song, Destiny Mariah, she's a exceptional talent. You know, if somebody like her, if we're in a position to go ahead and put her on tour, and she's like, yeah, no, I understand. This is what I got to do. She put her life in order to, you know, make sure that happens. I mean, that could be anybody. That's why, I mean, from an artist standpoint, I don't have to like their music. It doesn't matter to me, because that's the part. That's what I was saying as far as selling. If you have something that I can work with, we'll find the people. We can do that. Like that's what we do.
Yeah, facts.
So, you know, from an artist standpoint, it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go on the record. The DMV. I'm gonna go on record today at. It looks like it's 8:03 on the 23rd. Once the DMV gets an official record label out of the DMV, breaks official artists, and then another artist, and then a group, and then another artist, and then a female artist, then another artist, they'll be officially on.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. The label is Go Time, and everything that we talk about is in that lane of just like, it's time for you to get up and go. So Go Time is the label. I have to be the sacrificial lamb. You know, I got to go out there and actually do it, because it's one thing to talk about it. Then it's another thing to actually do it, and then, you know, have the systems in place to say, you know what, Six, we're going to go on tour again. He like, all right, bet. We already did it. All right, yeah, I got another artist that's going to go on tour. I bet. Like, we've already done it. It'll be paved. Like, we already know how to make sure that they, you know, publishing admin and all that stuff is taken care of. Like,
yep.
That's what a label does, and those are the disconnects from the creative and then the actual career, because you can create, but if you're not doing it in a direction to go somewhere, then I mean, it don't matter.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a hard question to answer, as far as, you know, the who, because it could be anybody.
And, you know, I'm glad you said that, because that definitely brings me to what I would like for us to talk about next week. Mr. Ed Glizzy's comments saying that there is not a DMV artist ready to go viral. Did that sting or nah? We're going to talk about that next week. So, hey, look, Joe, we know you got the record dropping this Friday. I also want you to tell them about the new video, the video that you already got out, you know, all that, man, run down where to find you, how to follow you, all that good stuff.
So, music that's out right now, we got Crank That Part. Crank That Part is definitely a crowd pleaser. It's one of them records that's just going to get you up out of your seat. You know, play it at your own discretion. Definitely do not play it before you're about to go to sleep. You're going to be up all night. It's jam-packed with energy. It's we call it organic audio energy. That's what that is. So that's out now. The video is on, you know, YouTube. Crank That Part. It features DJ Flex and the homegirl Destiny Mariah. The song that's dropping on Friday is called Found a Clapper. Found a Clapper is featuring a sample with New Impressions. Shout out to them. Shout out to Jody from New Impressions. Appreciate you giving me the blessing on that one. And that one's going to be dropping on this Friday as well. If you want to tap in with me, go to the IG page at gotime.ent. All the info is up there. You can reach me directly, or my number up there. Just text me real quick. I'll be on the move. You see, I got shit going on. So if I don't pick up, you know, just leaving me a message, and I definitely keep in touch with you that way.
You're so ballsy with doing that. I put my number on Facebook, and I promise you, worst decision I ever made. I was getting calls at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Love your music. Do you have your music on Apple? Anything on Spotify? And I'm like, if you freaks don't get out of here.
But that's what you're doing. You know, so you know, there's a. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I ain't gonna be too long-winded with this one. But it's something called 1,000 True Fans. It's an article. You might want to check it out. That 1,000 true fans are the super fans, the people that's going to spend like $100 to $200 with you every year. That's all you really need. So if it's 1,000 people that got my number that's really checking for me, I'm cool with that. Like, you know, they know. Hit me. If I don't pick up, I'm gonna hit you back. Some way, shape, or form. Like, we're gonna be in contact.
Well, there go Joe Young dropping some knowledge. If y'all don't know, y'all need to know.
I was about to give him that Mike Jones 202-538-78804.
Hey, Joe, look.
Hit the line.
Like and subscribe button down at the bottom. And y'all go follow my boy Joe Young. Definitely. Hey, Joe Young, you already know.
Thank you for coming through.
That was cool, man. Anytime y'all need, you know, somebody to give y'all some good conversation, I got you.
Well, you know, we get every Monday, 6 o'clock, same bat channel. And look, so why I've been telling my friends on PlayStation that I get on the game like I'm Batman. One of my friends, Face tells me I have to stop saying it on the game, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, man, I'll be here the same bat channel, same bat time, man. 6 o'clock every Monday. Jmoneygibbs, what you got coming up?
You know too much. We ain't gonna get into
this week.
Yeah. Just this week, we gonna keep it. We gonna keep it light just for this week, man. You know, I'm still shooting the TV series on Four Corners Network. New episode comes out every Wednesday. Make sure you check that out. It's called the BWA Chronicles. I'm also doing some background in some other TV series. We'll be catching with Joe Young. Look forward to some other things. I will be out on the scene doing some shows around the city. So make sure you look forward to that. Follow me at Jmoneygibbs on Instagram and all social media.
Make sure you should I tell them about the other thing? The Magic Mike 4? You in Magic Mike 4, right?
Nah, nigga.
Jzabel, DaTruth. What you got coming up?
Well, y'all already know what's going on. Y'all. The Indie Grussel concert is up and running. If you are an independent artist that wants to get paid for your performance, no ticket sales, no gimmicks, go ahead and hit that link in the bio on the Boss Biz radio page, or you can go to our website at www.bossbizent.com. It's a pop-up. It says apply. There's also, you go up in a corner, you hit that, you could apply to get paid for your performance. We're only selecting 5 artists. And yes, the vibes is always lit with Boss Biz. You already know what's going on. Hey. And of course, I will be one of the hosts. We got a fire-ass DJ. You know, more details coming soon.
So is there job qualifications listed underneath of the apply now section? If not, I like to submit some job qualifications for people that want to be paid to perform.
There's a whole questionnaire. Also, you know, we want to know how many people
can they get to come out? Oh Lord.
Uh-oh.
Look at it. I already know what that means, but that is the worst free frame I have ever seen. You thinking of Anita Baker over there. Well, I'm not going to be the one to tell you that the bike is
to the Matrix.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah,
but what I will tell you guys is that y'all can make sure y'all catch me this week on Hip Hop 95 Radio. Well, I got J Money's new record, Promise. I also got Joe Young's new record. So guess what? They will be in rotation. And yes, we got that Joe Young tour coming up. So we're going to have a lot of details about that. And y'all make sure y'all drop those follows on my man Joe Young. Go and like his video. Go and subscribe and do all that good stuff. I guess y'all know what this means for your boy. At this time, I'm about to go ahead and throw those roaches in the ashtray, flick off those ashes, get ready to roll up another one. I know I am. Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.
We outie.
No, that was tough, my man.
Heck yeah. We can go close out Lee Studio. It's gonna close out in a second.